This weekend's always difficult. We've done it, I think this is my third time in my tenure here. It's difficult. Candidly, I'd rather just go on the road, just stay in a hotel and not have to do all this. But I think it's even more difficult when it's Colorado State and Wyoming, because neither one of them is really easy to get to. I am happy that Wyoming's coming here and we don't have to go to Laramie. That's always a really difficult trip. But two very good teams. They both have two new head coaches, which is kind of exciting in our conference, because I think sometimes things can get predictable. You kind of know how certain coaches coach and how they play, and I think it's really challenged us as a staff to make sure that we reevaluate how these teams are playing with new leadership. And I also think when you have new leadership, both female head coaches, which I also think is cool, but teams have this like kind of honeymoon period where they have this unbelievable energy, and I think you'll see that in both of these groups. And we have our hands full. So time to start conference, time to, every win counts, every point counts, and I think our crew is feeling confident and ready for it.
In particular, the last 4 matches, what's been clicking for you guys?
We've tinkered with a lot of things in preseason, probably more than we ever have, truthfully. Formations, systems, players in different spots. But I think in the Washington game, we kind of found, some different kids that can really just provide energy. And if you know that you can count on that, like if you know you have players that are going to go in and no matter what, they're going to be relentless in their work ethic, that allows you to be sure in your formations and be sure in the way that you're teaching. So I think like Paige Satterley and Mesa Walters and some players that don't always get the credit deserve it, because they're just relentless in how they play. And when you have that, then it lets like your more technical kind of pretty players do what they love to do. And I think you have to have both. So I think we have found that a little bit, and we've found a little more depth off the bench, and then our returning players have really stepped up, which is exactly what you want from them.
You guys feel like you're gonna have a target on your back here coming to defending champions? You can't sneak up on anybody.
No, we won't sneak up on anybody, but I think right now the target's probably on Utah State. Like they're rolling. I think they're 8-1, 9-1. They just beat BYU at home. But our conference every year, like, everyone's good. Anyone can beat anyone. I'm sure people are going to gun for us, but they always do. Like, people are going to gun for us. They're going to gun for San Diego State. They're going to gun for Boise State. It's just, so I don't think that that's a surprise to us anymore, and I think our players are pretty comfortable with where we are.
How does playing in such a tough conference, if you just said everybody's good, how does that help you when it comes to hopefully making a run in the tournament like you guys say you'd want to?
Yeah, if you make the NCAA tournament, you are tested. Like, you know who you are and you know how you play, because we've got some really excellent coaches in our conference that will tactically change things, and there's a lot of tactical flexibility in the way that teams play. So it becomes a chess match. And I think when players learn how to solve that on their own and kind of be responsible for their decision making, by the end of the season, they just feel tenured, like they feel ready to go. So I appreciate that about our conference, and I just love the grind of it. Like, I love the rivalries. I love you can't take anyone for granted. And I'm happy to go see, the other side of it. We didn't get to see the whole California side of the conference last year, and we've got some good friends that coach over there too. So that part will be fun, and play the whole conference schedule again.
Zaria and Jaden leading the way in scoring so far. What have you seen from those two?
I mean, Jaden, I think, has found like a different level right now, kind of a different gear. She has this swagger to her. Like, even in training, she's taking a lot of the weight on her shoulders. I think kind of earlier in the year we were saying, where are we going to find goals? And I think Jaden has really kind of said, I'll score them, give me the ball. And not only score them, but assist too. Like, she's a humble player, she's a smart player. So I think she's really stepped into a leadership role with a lot of other players, but certainly Jaden. And then Zaria, I mean, her training habits for a freshman are some of the best I've ever seen. She takes things seriously, she does things at full speed, she communicates well, she cuts video and comes and watches it. And that as a coach is really exciting, because I think Zaria's potential is untapped right now. I think there's so much more that she can give, and I'm excited to see how she continues to grow this season and certainly in her time here.
You talk about her film work. I mean, the maturity she's shown on and off the field. I mean, she just does not look like a freshman.
Yeah. When you train against, Zaria's training against Carly and Maya, who are probably two of the best center defenders in the conference, and when you train against them and you don't back down, you get better, and a lot of freshmen, I think, come in and they're a little bit overwhelmed by the level and the speed of play, and sometimes they let that affect their training habits. and Zaria has not. So I think you see that on the field because she's got like a professional approach to how she does things. She values the process instead of just worrying about kind of the outcome. And I think if you invest in the process, you're investing in yourself and your own development. And I know she'll continue to do that here, which is pretty cool. She's an amazing young woman.
Will you have some extra energy knowing that you get to host Wyoming here instead of trying to get that Laramie trip? It's always it's just hard to get in there.
Yeah. It's we call it Laramie. It's that's a tough one. But it's a cool little college town. But just to get up there, and the weather's always tough, and the altitude, and they have such a cool home field advantage. But yeah, I'm always happy when Wyoming has to come here, no doubt about it.
That turnaround, is that going to be too hard? Are you guys you all are used to something like that, right? The turnaround, the 48 hours.
Yeah, I mean it's. I say this every year, but 48 hours is too quick to play soccer games. I really feel. I mean, you should have at least 2 days off in between physiologically. So that part of it is always difficult because you have to play when you're at your actually weakest point in recovery. But I do think that the players have done it now for so long that we take care of everything we can control. And then depth matters. On Sundays, you have to have players step up, and you have to have players that didn't play this huge load on Friday do something different on Sunday. And that sometimes I think is more mentality than it is ability. Because if you don't play as much as you want on Friday, it can be kind of a confidence blow. But I think when you have players that understand their role and understand that if it wasn't your night Friday night, Sunday, the team's going to need you, then that's how you win on Sunday.